I never thought I'd end up sobbing in a stranger's bedroom at 3 in the afternoon on a Tuesday. But life has a way of breaking you open when you least expect it. Her name was Margaret Chen, and she was the fifth real estate agent I'd contacted that month. The first four had taken one look at my situation: single father, mediocre credit score, limited budget in an impossible market, and politely declined to waste their time. Their rejection emails were professionally worded, but the message was clear. I wasn't worth the commission. Margaret's response was different. She called me within an hour. "Mr. Patterson, this is Margaret Chen. I got your inquiry, and I'd love to help you find a home for you and your daughter. When can we meet?" I almost hung up thinking it was a scam. Nobody was that eager to help someone like me. But desperation makes you brave, so I met her the next morning at a coffee shop downtown. She was younger than I expected, maybe early 30s, with kind eyes that crinkled when she smiled. She listened to my story without interrupting: how I'd lost my wife to cancer 2 years ago, how 7-year-old Emma and I had been staying with my sister ever since, how we desperately needed our own space but couldn't afford anything in this city's brutal market. "I'll be honest with you, David," she said, using my first name like we were old friends. "It's going to be challenging. But I didn't get into this business to only help rich people buy vacation homes. Let me see what I can do." Over the next 3 weeks, Margaret showed me every affordable listing within a 30-mile radius. And they were all terrible. Moldy basements, neighborhoods with boarded-up windows, apartments above bars that reeked of stale beer. She never once complained or suggested I adjust my expectations. Instead, she'd point out potential, possibilities, silver linings I couldn't see through my exhaustion. "This one has great light," she'd say in a unit with water-stained ceilings. "And look, there's a park across the street where Emma could play." After the 15th disappointing showing, I broke down in her car. Just completely fell apart. The weight of 2 years of grief, financial stress, and the crushing responsibility of raising a daughter alone came pouring out in ugly, heaving sobs. I couldn't even apologize. I just sat there drowning. Margaret didn't say anything. She just reached over and squeezed my hand, letting me cry until I had nothing left. "I'm sorry," I finally managed. "I'm wasting your time. I can't afford anything decent, and I'm just—" "Stop," she said firmly. "You're not wasting my time. You're a father trying to give his daughter a home. That matters." She started the car, but instead of driving me back to my sister's place, she headed in the opposite direction. "Where are we going?" I asked, wiping my face with my sleeve. "My house," she said. "I want to show you something." I should have been concerned, but I was too emotionally drained to question it. We drove in silence through increasingly nice neighborhoods, finally pulling up to a charming 2-story Craftsman with a blue door and flower boxes in the windows. "Come on," she said. I followed her inside, confused. The house was beautiful. Hardwood floors, built-in bookshelves, a kitchen that actually had counter space. Family photos lined the walls, and I could see a husband and 2 kids in many of them. She led me upstairs to a bedroom at the end of the hall. It was small but lovely, with pale yellow walls and white curtains that filtered the afternoon sun into a warm glow. A handmade quilt covered the bed. "This was my daughter Lily's room," Margaret said quietly. "Was." The past tense hung in the air like smoke. She walked to the window and looked out at the backyard, where I could see a tire swing hanging from an oak tree. She loved that swing. My husband built it when she was 4. She'd spend hours out there pumping her legs, convinced she could touch the sky. I didn't know what to say, so I waited. Lily died 3 years ago. Leukemia. She was 6. Margaret's voice was steady, but I could hear the ocean of grief beneath it. For a long time afterward, I couldn't come into this room. My husband Michael and I almost got divorced. We were both drowning, and we didn't know how to save each other. She turned to face me, and her eyes were wet but clear. What saved us was helping other people. Michael started volunteering at the Children's Hospital. I changed how I did real estate. I stopped chasing big commissions and started focusing on families who really needed help. Families like yours. My throat tightened. "Margaret, I don't understand. I'm showing you this room because I want you to know something, David. The pain you're feeling, it doesn't disqualify you. It doesn't make you weak. And it doesn't mean you can't give Emma a good life. She gestured around the room. Lily never got to grow up, but I can still honor her by helping other children have safe, happy homes. That's what you're trying to do for Emma. That's what makes you a good father. I lost it again, but this time it was different, cleaner somehow, like lancing a wound that had been infected for too long. Margaret let me cry, then led me back downstairs and made tea. We sat at her kitchen table and she showed me a new strategy. We'd look at properties that had been on the market too long, make lowball offers, see what stuck. She'd negotiate her commission down. She had some connections with a mortgage broker who specialized in difficult cases. "We'll find you something," she promised. "It might take time, but we'll find it." It took 2 more months and 17 more showings. But we finally found it. A small 3-bedroom house that needed work but had good bones, and a backyard big enough for Emma to run around in. The seller was motivated, Margaret worked her magic, and somehow, impossibly, we closed. On moving day, Margaret showed up with her husband and kids to help us unpack. Emma immediately bonded with Margaret's son, and I watched them play in the backyard while Michael and I assembled furniture. "She told me about your daughter," I said carefully. "I'm so sorry," Michael nodded, hammering a nail into a bookshelf. "Thank you. It never stops hurting, but Margaret found a way to turn that pain into purpose. I think Lily would be proud of her." I watched Margaret through the window, laughing as Emma showed her a cartwheel. She wasn't just my real estate agent. She was a lifeline, thrown by someone who knew what it felt like to drown. That night, after everyone left and Emma was asleep in her new bedroom, I sat on our porch steps and cried one more time, but these were different tears. Grateful tears, healing tears. Margaret had shown me her daughter's bedroom not to make me feel worse, but to remind me of something I'd forgotten, that our wounds can become windows, that our pain can have purpose, that sometimes the people who've lost the most are the ones with the most to give. She was my real estate agent, yes, but what she really gave me was something no house could provide: hope.